spouses. Now, you're never going to be able to find the absolute 100% perfect house. Even if you had twice as much money as you have now, there's going to be limitations that you just can't control for. For instance, if you want a house that has a really large yard, chances are you're not going to find it close into downtown where you can walk to everything. If you want a house that has the perfect layout, chances are it's going to be next to a noisy road. There's always going to be some sort of compromise that you need to make, just like there's always some sort of compromise you make with your spouse. For instance, I think I'm a pretty good spouse. My husband thinks I'm a fairly decent spouse. He will say, though, that I'm messier than he wants me to be. I don't listen whenever he talks about the weather, and I snore. He also isn't 100% perfect, but together we've had a really good life together. And so you need to be able to have those flexes and compromises when you're looking for a house. Now, this gets even more complicated because often you're not looking for it alone. You are looking for it with your imperfect spouse. And you need to make sure that you're both on the same page, because if what you want is diametrically opposed, it's probably not going to be found. For instance, you're not going to find a house that is all one level and yet has a great second basement playroom. So you need to make sure that what you want you agree on, because even though I'm qualified to help you find a house, I'm not qualified to work out whatever arguments you have in your marriage. So come together and decide together what the most important things are. And you're going to put them out here. You can put them out whatever percentages you want. Maybe you lay out all of your things that you want first, all of your attributes, and then you give them a percentage. For instance, my husband and I always want a sunny, bright house. And that's really important to us for our mental well-being. If we're in a dark, gloomy house, it just isn't good for us. So we know the sunny house is one of the main things we wanted. We wanted to be close into town because we like to walk and bike to the stores and to the restaurants and everything. So being close in was important to us. We did need 2 bedrooms plus 2 offices. Now, the offices could be bedrooms, they could be nooks, they could be, there's a lot of flexibility there. But we did need all those different individual rooms. And then finally, we wanted more than 1 bathroom. And frankly, we like houses that have character, especially historic charm. We like our house to look very different from everyone else's in the neighborhoods. We wanted character. Now that you've laid out and agreed upon what are the most important things to you, then the next thing you're going to do is to give them percentages. So let's say sunny is really it was just key. So we're going to give that 50%. It needs to be, of all the 100% of the importance to us, sunny is going to be 50% of it. Close in was also really important. So we're going to give that 25%. More than 1 bathroom, frankly, we've lived in houses with less than 1 bathroom. So I'm just going to give that a 5%. 2 bedrooms and 2 offices was pretty important. 20%. So now already I'm at 100%. So if you don't get it to exactly 100%, that's okay. Really try hard to get it to 100%. I'm going to take this one down a little bit. I'm going to take this to 40% and 10%. Now it equals 100%. And if there's some non-negotiables, you need to put them in here too. And don't do a lot of non-negotiables. It only needs to be 1 or 2. What are the 1 or 2 things that absolutely no way will you ever have that in a house? So one of our non-negotiables was going to be, and it was non-negotiable. It was really far out. I mean, it was really important for us to be close in. But that's kind of the same thing as this. So it depends on whether or not you're willing to move on that or not. So let's say far away was a non-negotiable. So we did specifically tell our realtor that we wanted to be within a 2-mile radius of Riverfront Park. And we didn't want to look at any houses that were any further away than that. So what you're going to do is then play around with this a little bit. See if you've come up with the right ratios. And then when you start to look at your houses, then start to come back and look at this. Did you get to 85% of what you wanted? So for instance, we could have done sunny close in with 2 bedrooms and 2 offices, but not gotten more than one bathroom and not gotten character. And we probably still would have gone for that house. We've had a house without any character before. And so because this added up, the 40%, 25%, and 20% added up to 85%, we would have gone ahead and made an offer on that house because it hit most of what we wanted, and it didn't hit the non-negotiable of being far away, or perhaps your non-negotiable could be no garage or whatever. You're just simply not going to consider that house. And so you'll do this and take this with you, and when you go and look at 3 or 4 houses, come back, look at the score of them. Does this feel about right? Does this feel about the correct priorities? Because once you start looking, you're going to kind of adjust things just a little bit. And then if it does feel pretty good and you're out house hunting and you discover that, hey, this house meets 85% of what we were looking for in a house, it's a pretty good clue to you that it's time to go ahead and make an offer. That this house is probably going to be a good but not perfect house for you. And so this way it takes away some of the stress, it takes away the 10,000 showings, it makes the process quicker, easier, and gets you to your end goal, which is to have a house sooner. So I always suggest that everyone take 10-15 minutes, sit down, and come up with their 85%. All right, hope this helps. Have a good day.